समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Om
Sai Ram.
How are all of you today?
nice. Thank you, Sai Ram.
After the Monet going through a big upgrade, some of you are conscious of it, some of you are not conscious of it, some of you have some experience, some of you feel you have no experience. But we are one Monet. Whatever happens in the Monet affects the collective because it's interlinked, all hot wired. So anything happen, the entire Monet feels it. That's how the Monet works. Monet is one. And there's one person accent, it has a reaction on the Monet. And if there's a few person accent in the Monet, the entire Monet accents. These are beauties of God's creations. So today we have a number of us went through the cosmic, Psy-Cosmic Craft experience of upgrade. If possible, if any one of you like to share, you have some experiences which you are doubtful of, or you have some questions, it's good that we can discuss because we are one family, right? So let's have some sharings and discussions. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Brother Julius Samudra.
Hi.
Oh, hi. So this morning, I was with much anticipation. I participated in this. And so as we lay down and Sister Vladka said, okay, it's going to start, I felt a kind of like a scanning, like a scanning machine going through from the head to the foot, and all kinds of warmth. And I can't describe exactly what kind of feeling it is, but there was something going on, definitely. And I tried to sleep, but it didn't happen because it was like almost 5:30 in the morning, but I was conscious. And also towards the latter part, actually about 2 years ago, I had a womb surgery. And that part, all this time there was nothing. I was fully recovered from the surgery, but something must have been done there because now I feel quite tender. And today was I was not feeling that great, but I went about, I'm a teacher, so I went about with my work, and as much as possible, I laid down to rest. So, but it was, I know something big has happened. So I bless Swami and thank you all for that. Thank you so much.
Okay. Remember to drink more water. This is very important. Huh? Okay.
Yes, brother. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, wonderful. You know, right now it's too soon to interpret anything. At this point in time, it's good to continue to experience because there is internal shift energetically and also biologically. There's a shift. So at this point in time, it's good to just let it flow and see what happens after that. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yes, brother. Thank you.
Um, anyone else?
Sairam, this is Pradeepan.
Sairam.
Yeah, actually, this morning was like my previous speaker said, like much anticipated, like we were waiting for this opportunity, to make use of this one and praying. And then, like even just before Vladka said the process is starting, just a few seconds before, I started feeling some sort of it's a sensation all over my body, and then the sensation continued, and probably I'm not sure whether I was imagining or I was visualizing Swami in a small light. It's like it's very light, very small. I'm not at the moment. I'm not. I cannot distinguish whether I am seeing or I'm imagining. And even after that, like I went to work, and then like I was kind of feeling some sensation above my head, and also some pain in my back rib, the backside above the hip. There was some little pain, all sort of thing. So, but I feel really amazing. There are so many things I was able to sense today. Kind of sensation I am going through. Sairam, thank you for this.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay. I would just like to touch a bit on what Brother has spoken. He's saying that he's not sure if he's seeing or imagining. Okay. This is very good that we can look into this, because imagination, when you think of something and you have a picture in your mind, you are actually seeing. Okay, you can even do it right now. You close your eyes, you think of your mother, you can see her form, you can see how she looks like, and after a while, if you invest more feelings into it, you might even get into a fight with her inside the mind. Now, this is seeing. You're already looking at it because there are impressions, there are some figures there. But of course, earlier you might think that this is, I projected it and I am the one manipulating it. I'm the one who's doing everything, right? It doesn't matter. You know why? Because we need to activate the vision now. We need to be comfortable watching from our mind's eye. We need to do that. And now all the more with the light, you are watching from the light's point of view at the mind. Okay? When you do that, there is more fluidity, there's more lucidity, there's more movement, there's more freedom. That means you're no longer seeing what you want to see. You are allowing the impressions to take on a life of its own.
Okay.
Yes. And this life of its own is exactly what you see in the world. It's a life of its own. it's having a life of its own. You are allowing the freedom to express. So there is a slight trick here. Your ego watching, which is the mind watching, or the light watching. All is needed. All is needed. Yeah. You need the ego to superimpose. You need to have the impression. You need to have the affinity of a form. So now we have the affinity of the form coming in. We have, Swami. We have now the cosmic craft. Yes. So we have, in a way, an impressions. Yes. This morning, quite a number of pictures came through. You have seen it in the quantum extension group, those pictures. And from those pictures, you are able to somewhat figure out how the craft looks like, where it is positioned. And the more you allow yourself, since this is a group consciousness, we are moving as a group, you will start, the energy start happening. The energies start happening. Your subtle body is activated. And we have many, as we have gone through before, we are multidimensional beings, and there are many dimensions which we are operating on. Some we are conscious of, some we are not so conscious of. So now we are becoming conscious of our subtle body, our group subtle body in the cosmic craft. So this is something which you will eventually, after a while, you can go so much into it that you don't know which one is real. Because all the same stuff is the same dream stuff. Yeah, this is what the Vedas calls this entire world is dream stuff. It is created out of certain impressions, elements that comes together to form what we want to see. Yeah, this is part of quantum physics also. Whatever that you pay your attention on, crystallize for you, including the chairs and tables, because none of it is solid. Okay, so we will go into it. These are something which will become even downloaded upon you in this journey. When you move across, when we move together in this journey, a lot of these abilities or even these experiences will be available for you, as we move along, because this is very much all around us. This parallel dimension and fifth dimensions and our subtle body is all around. We are totally accessible to all this. But of course, this is not for any purpose of display or siddhi or anything. Our purpose is only for God realization. For God realization, and maybe to do some service to help people enjoy this light and bliss and love.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
but even I just took from your sharing and I expanded on it. It's not particularly addressing anything.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? I realize there's a lot of shy people here because I get so many messages. Wonderful shares. Okay. Yes.
Saram, brother. It was. I wasn't sure what to expect yesterday. I was expecting that we'd be taken on a journey and we'd be going somewhere like we'd done previously, but actually the way it worked out is that Sister Vlatka explained everything that was going on, which was great. There's a lot of information there, and I'm not sure I picked up a lot of it because I was a little bit tired, but that's okay. It was going in at some level anyway. And then when I learned that we had to sleep, I was very happy because it was 1 o'clock in the night here, and lying down was very comfortable, and it is really a lovely experience just to sleep and just to allow everything to be in the silence. And something was definitely happening because after that session, I felt a little bit lighter, and definitely Shilpa was. She's not here now; she's gone to work, but she was also feeling very, very light. So some processing, some changes must have been going on. I don't know what exactly. I don't need to know probably, but enough to know that Swami was there and he's taking care and he's doing whatever is meant for our highest good. And with that, thank you.
Sorry. She got cut. Okay. Sister Vlatka, you had your mic on earlier. Sounded like you.
Sorry. Mistake. By mistake, I put behind and probably open. Sorry.
It's okay. Yes. Welcome on board. How have you been? You must be tired after such an intense session this morning.
No, actually, after these sessions and work like this, you have more energy. You are like somebody plug you in electricity. But now I'm because I wake up early. It was 4:30, so I wake up 3:30, and now at my place is 1:50. So I'm feeling like okay, I would rest a little bit, but it's okay. It's not. Actually, in these situations, you can always having some challenges before, before the process, when or you would be stopped or test or this is mostly happening everything for me before. So after I'm like free. I'm always feeling good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'd like to share with you all today on the rising of the divine feminine energy. Yeah. This is something we need to pay attention on because, first of all, Mother Gaia is awakening to many people. Yeah. Awakening in the sense, as I've shared before, she is more easily identified. You can communicate with Mother Gaia. You can feel her wakefulness if you were to tune in more. And she is she's proceeding. Okay, so she is proceeding towards the higher dimensions, and she is very touched by many children who are responding to her, who are going along with her, who are ascending with her, who are appreciating her and rising together. She has come through a few channelers expressing her joy. One, I just posted it like 15 minutes ago in my Facebook. If you like, you can read. Yeah, that is direct from Mother Gaia. She is You know, there's a lot very detailed. It's gone into how this is going to happen. Okay. Now, in that, also in the downloads and the channeling, right, including the channeling of our brother Saha and sister Vlatka, there is this divine mother and father scenario or experience, which now it's becoming more and more available for us and more clear for many. Yeah. Okay, this is my interpretation of how this mother-father figure has come about for me. Okay, if I can share with you. I believe that the father is largely the unmanifested and is largely somehow more obvious in the skies. Yeah, because on the earth, we see a lot of manifested, right? This manifested, it's actually a projection, a creation of the unmanifested, and I take it as those which are physical and grounded is largely the mother, and the one from the skies, from the cosmos, the unmanifested, who is available, present everywhere, is the father. Now, of course, you have seen many religions where they look up to the skies and they call upon the Lord, and the God is in the skies, and you know, this is how we communicate with God. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he's standing there. And he's showing his presence. Okay. To many. Now, how do we comprehend this? Why before there is no, you can't see, and now you are starting to feel this presence there, and you know, this father figure, and there is this great consciousness or this Christ consciousness, which is manifesting, and people are downloading like mad by pages and pages, and it's becoming scriptures, and they are starting groups. And what happened there? Why this sudden shift? Okay. Of course, we can explain this in many levels. First of all, the physical level, the pollution level has gone down. We are all in lockdown, and you know, the earth is much more cleaner, and you know, the pollution, the factories are off, and there's less fog, and you know, you can see clearly. Yeah, your skies are clear, right? There's also another phenomena, which is the great solar flash is coming. A lot of light, and this light inside has gamma wave, has photon energy. It has many layers of cosmic rays, which has tremendous power, and is coming from the top. This is also an influence, because with this kind of light coming on Earth, and if we are protected, then we receive the positive side, and we start realizing that there's someone up there. And for me, I realized that that's the Father. The Father has manifested. From the unmanifested, it became the great solar flash. And the great solar flash is coming down, and the earth is receiving it in such bliss and joy. And the children are somewhat conduits, are becoming a channel for this light to come true. So there is a lot of participation going on now. Conscious participation is also happening. happening now, more and more. Okay, so I see this entire phenomena as Divine Mother and Father is here. Divine Mother and Father is here. And this brings great joy for me because it brings great balance, it brings great harmony, it brings great equanimity. It brings joy, contentment, feel, when you see both Divine Mother and Father together in this space. Yeah? So this is an awakening for me, and I feel that more it's available for all who are somewhat guided to be tuned into this and to see it. This is actually it's happening. Yeah? Of course, there is a process to it. There's a process which we can do. There's different ways, different yogas can help you reach this kind of vision. And now the one that we embark on is actually very unique. It's called the Cosmic Craft Yoga.
Put the J picture of
Hear the joy of the children when that's mentioned. See, immediate response.
This is a new yoga which I'm hearing. Cosmic Craft.
Joy yoga.
Nice.
This joy yoga.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is my version of Mother, Father, God. I would like to invite our brother Saha to share his version and also his light and love. Brother Saha.
Sairam, everyone. Thank you for that perspective and bringing it into focus on what's happening. And I'm glad about this topic, the rising of the divine feminine. It's something that does not need our approval to exist. It was there from the time of creation. It's what makes the two parts of the supreme consciousness. And what's happening now is that we are no longer able to suppress that because we were doing that in many ways. And the dominant divine masculine was running the show. And now, with the rise of the divine feminine, we need to embrace that and to harmonize that with the divine masculine. Now, this is a struggle for many because we've got years and eons of conditioning of the dominant, more doing oriented, more aggressive, more task oriented divine masculine. And now we are coming through divine feminine energy, or more of just beingness. And we are understanding and experiencing power of compassion, kindness, love, gratitude. So this is where we are going. So it's like, imagine you were running 100 meters or 200 meters, and all of a sudden you're told that, hey, now you're just going to go into a walking meditation and you're going to watch every single step. Now, if you trained yourself to run the 100 or the 200, and if somebody tells you, hey, now you got to walk each step, watch every step as you take, it's a great challenge. Your body is not used to it. Your mind is not used to it. And your body and mind are not used to it. It's going to challenge it. And the person who could run really fast will actually fall trying to walk so slowly. And that's the way I see what's happening right now, because we were all trained, conditioned to run, and now we need to learn just to simply walk. So, and with the divine feminine rising, and we are learning to walk the slow pace of things, we get closer and closer to our true nature. It's like we are finding more balance in what we are. Yes, we are human beings. We are not human doings. So we were busy being human doings all this time. Now we're going to be more of what we really are, human beings. And so when this happens to us, there are a couple of things that makes us um, look at our lives and make us question, what do I need to do to fully embrace this divine feminine? And that's difficult for many, because we were all running, and along with that came certain qualities. Um, and to support that divine masculine time period, there were systems that we created. They were based on lack, limitation, and separation, where we thought, well, I had to somehow get this before someone else gets it, because if they take it, I don't have enough for myself. Um, it's So with that, when we try to embrace the divine feminine, it's difficult because the mother's love is equal for all. And along with that comes his softness. And in that softness, for us to fully embrace that and to really be in the joy of the rising divine feminine, it is making us forgive. And that's the hardest thing for everyone, how to forgive. Because without forgiveness, you can't fully welcome the divine feminine energy. It's like a mom, she might, speak harshly to a kid just to get his or her attention. But at the end of the day, the mother's love is cannot be contained. She loves her children till the last day. They could be 60 years old, but they're still their son or daughter. So it makes the mom very forgiving to her the children. So same for us now, when we get the divine feminine energy coming in, for us to embrace that flow in full glory, we need to forgive. And that's the hardest thing. That's the heaviest baggage we got, that we need to work on. And without this balance, we can't ascend. Um, so in order to ascend, we need to be lighter. And the biggest barrier to lightness is not being able to forgive. Forgive yourself and forgive others. And for some people, forgiving others is easier than forgiving themselves. That's a pretty tough one, because they are so convinced that they are at fault and they cannot forgive. And for some others, that they are always right. Because of that, they're always right. They cannot forgive someone else because the others are wrong. So both these views are incorrect. It's got to find middle ground, because only by forgiving ourselves we could love and forgive others. So it's a very simple thing. We forgive ourselves, and then we could love ourselves. But even before forgiving, there is a condition that we all love to see. We all appreciate this. Uh, no matter where we are coming, how old we are, which country, which job we do, how rich we are, there's something that we all crave for, and that's kindness. We all respond to kindness. Any animal responds to kindness. So that kindness is another quality of the Divine Mother. And when we are kind, we can forgive ourselves. And when we forgive ourselves, we could love ourselves. So it starts with us. And this requires us to let go of so many of the false beliefs and conditionings that we have put on ourselves about how things are. And so I always tell that when we go into understanding and fully experiencing directly the full glory of the Divine Mother, it's going to force you to let go of some of the ideas you have. And even the idea of, well, did I see that, or is it my mind playing tricks on me? So first thing to ask is, who is asking that question? Who in you is asking that question? Am I experiencing this, or was it my mind? Once again, we know it's the mind asking that question, right? And it's asking that question with a hidden agenda, which is, well, I hope you think it's your imagination, so that way I could still be the boss. But when you say, well, it's not my imagination and it's a reality in a parallel dimension, well, then the mind starts getting pretty upset because it's losing its power over you. So with the coming of the divine feminine energy, um, when we find the balance, we are shifting ourselves to other realities, which will defy everything we thought, everything we know. And and a huge obstacle in this path is what we consider and we treasure so much and pride ourselves in is our knowledge. Because knowledge is a huge barrier for us to entertain and fully embrace something we haven't had before. So we go there in this new dimension, trying to understand with our existing knowledge. It doesn't work. Doesn't have any clue of what's happening. And then we have a fight on how to put this and where to put this. Um, and by doing so, we waste a lot of time. Then having the experience, we are trying to understand it and put it in an intellectual box and label it. So whenever in this path, as you embrace the divine feminine energy coming through you, and you're shifted into a higher level of balance, and in that balance, you experience new realities. And then the question pops up, am I imagining this? Well, it's coming from your mind. It's coming from your mind. So you need to go from seeing is believing to believing is seeing. And that's the only way to go forward. And mind is not wrong. It's just doing what it's designed to do. It's made to understand the material world and to keep you safe for your mind and body. It's not designed to go for your self-realization. And the only way to get it to cooperate is to turn that outward vision into an inner vision. And that's the struggle we have with the mind because we're still trying to project that outwards and trying to understand what is happening within us. So, what I advise everyone is to be bold and be courageous to embrace the softer side in you. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what your dad did or your grandfather did or what you were taught in school, you need to embrace this softer side. And this goes equally to both men and women. It's not about gender, it's about finding balance. It's not about divine feminine means it's a woman. No, it's the motherly feeling of love, but it's not exclusively for women or like the divine masculine is exclusive for men. We are both 50 and 50. And so there's no superior gender, it's a balance. So all these concepts of we need to let go if we are to fully embrace this. And every day you have to see how you feel because the divine mother, the divine feminine energy is you're going to feel it in your heart. It's not something you could rationalize and make an equation and understand in your mind. It's a feeling. How do you feel? So, and the thing is, we all are craving for this freedom. We all are. And if you entertain that a little bit and you really get the feeling of what's happening to you with this divine feminine energy, you say, wow, this is what I've been looking for, this balance. it feels wonderful. So you have to be very brave to undo the things what you were taught. Men out there, learn to cry. Don't go to the bathroom and hide and cry and then put on a bold face when you come out. Doesn't work anymore. Um, because it's not that you're weak. It actually takes a lot of strength to let go. So same for women. So many over the because of eons of dominant masculine energy, they made it their new way to deal with that by trying to become more masculine in their energy. That's not going to help anyone. Um, a man with a divine masculine energy is not going to be, uh, how to say, balanced by a female with dominant divine masculine energy. She has to nurture the divine feminine in her more to calm down the divine masculine. And when we have that balance, there'll be many more happy couples around the world. so, um, so to forgive yourself, let's start with kindness to yourself, then forgive yourself, then love yourself. And in that loving, letting go of all the concepts you had so far will start to crumble. It's not gonna hold in that structure anymore. And we're seeing this happening all over the world. Every single system we are having now is changing because the consciousness is changing. And what's changing the consciousness is the rising of the divine feminine. From being competitive, we are going into a way of living with more cooperation. So that itself is a huge change. And so in that space, always you got to have kindness for yourself, forgiveness to yourself, and love, because this is what the Divine Mother brings. And we've been suppressing this because of the divine masculine that was dominant. So every single one of us have a new responsibility to forgive ourselves and to love ourselves. But it only starts if we could be kind to ourselves. What we have gone through so far make up who we are today, and to look back without an emotional charge and say, wow, what a ride that was. Now I'm ready for the new one. So it's not the outside world, it's the inner work. It's the inner work. You can't wait for the golden age to come for you to feel golden. You got to feel golden in order to usher in the golden age. The more people who could feel the golden age within them will start seeing the golden age happening right in front of them in that very moment. So it's not that, okay, you bring it on first, then I will try to embrace this. No, we got to co-create. So it's as much as we do these workshops, it's great. I don't know how long we'll be doing this for, but there's a lot of personal responsibility that you need to do in order to move ahead. And it's not from the healing sessions. They're nice. It's not from the meditations. They're all good. These are all tools. But at the end of the day, it comes right down to you for your own way of getting your thoughts, words, and deeds in alignment. And no amount of workshops will do that unless you are practicing that. So every day you got to work on that on your own. And what these groups do is that we could share as a community our experience and keep each other all charged up. But it comes down to you doing your own inner work. I've had plenty of people asking questions in private, asking for, I can forgive all these, but not this one, or not that one, or they've done so many wrong things to me, I can't forgive. So you got to ask the question, well, what happens to you if you don't forgive? You're going to miss the flight. So is it worth holding on to that excess baggage? You can forgive everyone, but not this person or this one other person. Well, if you do that, then you can go to where you need to go. You yourself is staying at the airport. So this is what we need to do every day. We have a challenge, And the simplest thing I can tell people is when you have a challenge, are you going to react or are you going to respond? Reaction will come from a more aggressive divine masculine trait, and a response will come from a more nurturing, loving, compassionate divine mother energy. Of course, you need both to fully maneuver in life. You need both, but we've been running and reacting, so it's time to respond. In other words, you need to be softer in order to be stronger in this path. It's not what we were taught. So with that, I'll see if anybody has any questions and see how we can expand on the ideas we've shared so far. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Do not just come in if somebody is talking, and to share a story, raise your hand and I will ask you to speak. That way everybody gets to hear what they want to hear without interruptions. And for those who don't know how to put the hand up, it's in the chat right below that. It says raise hand. And once you touch that, we'll get a pop-up.
We got a hand raised.
Did I hear someone say something?
Yeah, we got a hand raised.
Okay, I didn't see the hand raised. You sound very faint, Brother Julius, for some reason. Okay, who's got the hand raised? They could ask the question.
Maybe she's just sending blessings.
Okay. Looks like no one's got questions today.
There are some things written on the chat.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I can share on this.
Okay.
All right, yeah. The question is about what sorry, please, can we have a list of things we need to practice daily so it's visual? Okay, maybe I misread
Brother
it.
Julius, you sound very faint, bro. Maybe just me, but I have a difficult time hearing you. Maybe if everybody else probably hearing you clearly. I don't know. It sounds you were very far.
Okay. All right. Why don't you take this? You don't take the one in the group chat because I misread it. I thought it's another question. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Yeah, bro. It's
anyone?
Now I
No.
can hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna switch.
Yes.
I'm gonna switch. Go ahead. Go ahead with the session.
Yes. So I couldn't see who had raised the hand. So I see two. One, Vikash wants to know the list of things, and then soft abilities. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, once again, I'm gonna say there's only one thing you need to practice. Okay. If we go with list, we are once again gonna go back to our mind. That's not gonna help us much because once again, you're trying to have that checklist and put it there. So yes, it's good to have some idea of what you need to do, but the first thing is kindness. That's the basic requirement for everything. So every single time you see how kind I am in this situation to myself and to others involved. And the second you see it from the lens of kindness, divine feminine energy is with you. So that'll change how you're going to respond, what you're going to say, what you're going to do, how you will craft that email or how you will present your idea over a phone call or how you will conduct yourself as a business meeting, or how you're going to talk to your wife or husband about a problem you guys have, starts from kindness. So in that, you become more effective in kindness. So if not, if it's not based on kindness, then once again we get drawn into the conflict based approach, where I am right and you're wrong, and it's my word against your word. But when you go with kindness, you hold a space for things to get resolved. So I would say, instead of a list, just try to see how kind you are in your daily interactions, and that's a great tool, because you will feel the difference. Because once you're kind, you will automatically see less complaining. Because complaining drains you out. And why is that complaining? Because we start seeing everything as, in extremes, in polarities. But if we just don't take either extreme view and we just be in the middle, it's easy to be kind. It's difficult to be kind when you take, one extreme over the other, because everything comes as in totality, as a whole experience. So just be kind instead of taking it personal. Zoom out and see it as a movie and say, wow, how could I add more kindness to this? Once you add kindness to it, you'll be able to forgive, and you'll be able to love yourself and everyone else in that experience. And it's the easiest way to get yourself to be in your heart space. You immediately move from your mind space to your heart space when you put kindness. So I hope that helps in terms of the list to do. Just practice kindness and everything else will flow. I hope I answered you, Vikash.
Yes, brother. Actually, it was Shilpa. But yes, that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'd like to share something.
Yes.
Can be heard.
Yep, can be heard.
Okay. Earlier, I've got this question before. Someone was asking me, who am I supposed to forgive? What is there to forgive? I'm not looking into, blaming anybody. And but I do understand that there is something that she's not too happy about. But she don't feel that there's a need to forgive because she never blamed anybody, right? So I know that there is, well, for me, there was once when I had the awakening in the year 2000. I had an experience of sudden awakening. At that time, from that space of love and light and joy and bliss, whoever that I looked upon at that time, I was in tears. I was in so much, maybe even some of them I'm repenting. I felt like, that they have done so much and have not realized, and they have been contributing. That's one of the side effects, maybe, if you want to call it, of light. Yeah, when you have light, you start seeing literally the God in the other person, and those people whom we have not seen God, and at that space where you have so much light coming through you, for me, I all of a sudden saw how great they are, these people whom I don't think much about, and I realized that they are divine beings. They have in in their little efforts and ways, in their very small way, contributed, have put so much love into everything they do, and including me, including my our cross path. So I would be, I discovered myself to be in at least few days to just to get over this realization, that this, and there's so much love coming out from the heart, and also a sense of forgiveness. Actually, is very much forgiveness of ourselves, because we realize that we have just overlooked ourselves so much. We tend to be too involved into what we think is the issue, but actually we overlooked our soul, which is there to give so much love, and so much is trying to give. So this is the part which I think we need to be more connected to, and the real manifestation of true love and forgiveness.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I just want.
Yeah. It's well, the thing is, it's very easy to love people who love us, and it's difficult to love people who we think are not loving us. But sometimes those that appear to be not loving at all towards us are our greatest teachers. And I've had actually many sessions where clients go back, and the person that they have the greatest difficulty with in this lifetime could be a father, a mother, best friend, a brother, a wife, husband, and they go back and see, wow, they are actually here to teach me the lesson which I did not learn in the past lifetime. So now they've agreed to come here and teach me that. And all they are doing is just that. But in my linear mind, they're the greatest offenders, and they're the most unlovable, the most unthoughtful people. I don't know what I have done to deserve them in my life. But when we zoom out, we see, wow, they are actually doing a fantastic job in helping you to stay on track. And how do they do that? They are mirrors to you on what you need to work on. So I was having a chat with another participant on this. She kept on asking, well, if I feel this, I mean, there's the offender, and that means that they're the innocent offender. Well, even that term innocent offender is not needed, because we are all mirrors. We are only seeing that because we have resonance with that vibration. Now, if somebody has an anger problem, and they say somebody triggered me, well, that other person was having that vibration, and because you had it, you resonated with that, and out came your anger. Now, if you've gone beyond that, you will still recognize that other person's anger, but you will not react to it. You will not be triggered. The second you recognize their anger within them, you see, oh, they're in pain. And you'll go into compassion mode, and rather than judging them, you send them more light, because you are now healed. But if you're unhealed, you see this anger coming from someone else, you take ownership of it because you have it within you too. So, but you don't want to accept that. You say, well, this person was being really bad to me, so now they made me feel this way. No, you had that feeling to begin with. The other person was simply just being the mirror, saying, hey, you need to fix this. Now, this is a difficult one for a lot of us to swallow, because we're so good at outsourcing the blame. Someone or something did this to us, therefore I'm like this. So once we understand that we picked up on that because we have it. Now we will continue to pick up on it without an emotional charge. When we are healed, we will no longer pick it up and return that with an emotional charge. We will pick it up and say, wow, this person is hurting. They're in pain. You know, they got unhealed, wounds, and they need compassion. And once we switch that, the first thing is that we are at peace. And when we are at peace, we can take better decisions. So even if they're being very, how to say, aggressive, you could still just keep your peace because you're not taking ownership of that. And so this is what we got to start practicing more and more, to see that whatever that triggers us is because we need to work on it. It's not that people are going out of their way to hurt us. They're going out of their way to help us and say, hey, you got this, you need to work on this. And the more we suppress that and say, no, all these people are crazy, they're all bad people, I don't know what's wrong with them, you're going to attract more and more of that, because that's what your soul needs in order to grow, the lessons for the mastery. So it will spread from, what you have with your brother will go to your spouse, to your children, to your co-workers, to the people you meet at the supermarket. You will start seeing the same kind of things that trigger you all over. But once you heal that with one person, you're healing that with everyone else. So this is something we all need to work on. Instead of saying, well, that person did something bad to me, say, well, what did they show me? What can I fix? Now, this doesn't mean if somebody comes and tells you that you're an idiot and you'll never get this in your life and you're such a failure. No, no, that's not what we're going here. But if somebody else's action or words are making you so upset, and you feel like you want to fight back and it makes you lose your balance, then you have to see that, hey, what's in it me that's making me feel this way? And then it'll help you to find out your own inner wounds that are not healed. So for example, if you were a child that was criticized a lot by your parents or your teachers and always made to feel that you were not doing things right, you come across a life partner and who suggests something to you out of his or her good heart, and you will immediately react and say, who are you to tell me what to do? You have no idea. And you'll come up with a whole list of excuses why they're bad, because there's a part in you, an inner child wound that was not healed because you were always controlled and looked down upon and criticized a lot. So now you see even a good suggestion or even somebody contributing towards taking a decision as a way of trying to control you. So it's not that the other person was bad, but there was a wound that was not healed. So this is where we always got to go, because we cannot fix other people. We can only fix ourselves. And in that, we are able to appreciate other people more. But most people spend their entire life trying to fix somebody the way they want so they could be happy with them. And what are we really looking for? Control. And instead of controlling our emotions and healing ourselves, we are too busy trying to fix other people into the way that we want to accept them. And that doesn't serve any purpose. Anybody have any thoughts or questions on this, their experiences on this?
Brother Saha?
Yes.
Yes. Can I have something? Okay.
Sure,
Can
brother.
this inner wound actually, because I see some of them are having like very good childhood and everything, but still they have this kind of, anger and all this. Could it be due to some past life impressions that they're having this, not necessarily this life?
Oh, yes, for sure. And what happens is, for the eternal witness, having a body, that's what kind of separates us, a past life and a current life, right? But for that, for the eternal witness, it's all this experiences. It's seen everything. But the subconscious mind, which has these impressions, will pull it out when we are at the right vibration. So if it's unhealed, now even some of these wounds that we go in and we find in hypnosis, in this lifetime, it manifested because it was not healed in a past life. And now they're doing everything, but they say, well, I don't know where it's still coming from because it was not healed in a past life. And yes, some of them are very, very strong. And these are things we have practiced over multiple lifetimes. And the worst part is the high probability of you practicing the same lessons with the same classmates. So the same souls, group of souls, keep on coming back, just changing the roles until we master them. So it becomes more intense because we have more karmic baggage with these people. So it becomes that experience becomes more intense. And yes, this is where techniques of past life regression really helps, because you could understand what's running, and when you come back from it, you come back healed. So you're able to drop that emotional charge within you. But yes, just like good habits, if you were a great painter for 3 or 4 lifetimes, this lifetime you'll be so natural at sketching or painting. You don't even have to think about it. Same with musicians, same with cooking, same with gardening. But what happens is, more than that, those anyway flow. But these are the difficult ones, because these are causing an imbalance. If you're a great painter and you paint, it's beautiful. But if you had so much conflict and you were burned to death because you were a witch, and in this lifetime you're a light worker, you can have a lot of conflicts, because the last time you tried to do that, you were killed, and those memories are there. And so yes, it can certainly come from past lifetimes. Some of them are very big, but they're only coming back because you did not resolve them in that time. So, and if you don't do it now, if you have another life, it will come back again the same way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's why it's important to forgive ourselves, because sometimes when we are operating at not knowing, we did not mean to hurt someone so badly, but we did. And then we go into the guilt mode. And that's because we did not know that we were actually operating from unhealed wounds. It's the pain within us that came out as that terrible behavior. And once we understand that about ourselves, like, oh my God, I did not mean to hurt Brother Julius that way, but this is how I responded. It was so bad. I went, I was so much, lack of focus there. I was, I couldn't control myself. And then once you realize that, you understand, well, when somebody else acted like that with me, they were also operating from a similar point of pain in their life that they just did not know how to handle. So that's why the self-forgiveness for, when you go out of balance is so important in order to love yourself. Because we are here to experience both. We can't choose and say, well, I'm only going to have these experiences. No, it's all part of the total experience. And as long as we try to separate them, we're going to find ourselves in more painful experiences, because you want to say, well, I want to be happy, but I don't want to have any of these. The second we do that, and that needs healing within us, because we resist that, we are in a state of pain. But if we welcome that and say, well, thank you for coming, I'm going to learn it this time, and bless that experience, we automatically ascend. We will not get caught in a loop. So seeing the experience in its totality is allowing a wider bandwidth of divine source energy flowing through you in oneness. And once that starts flowing through you, it's very difficult, like Brother Julius was saying, to see others as offenders, because you understand, wow, we're all one. We're all learning the same lessons. They have the same problem that I do with problem number 25 in this math exam. So it's you start developing more compassion, and that's the awakening of the divine feminine energy, that compassion, that kindness. So it changes you. And even that doesn't mean you will not lose your cool. It can happen. It happened to great masters, the people who've been meditating for 50 years. But when that happens, because you've nurtured and you allow that divine feminine energy to lead you, you can calm down very fast. You will not be holding it on for days and weeks and months and years, crippling your mind and body. No, it'll come. You may feel a surge of emotion coming up, and almost immediately you say, wow, I know this feeling. I'm not going to go here. You forgive yourself and say, all right, now how can I be more kind? And that is true mastery. That's where we need to go.
There are some questions on the Zoom chat.
Okay. I'll check it out. Let me see the question. Okay. Brother, I heard Dolores Cannon in one of her videos that if we continue to keep coming back lifetime after lifetime with the same person without the lesson being completely mastered, eventually you have to terminate that contract with them and say yes with yourself. Did I look? We try to feel. Yes, beautiful point that you brought across. So true. What she's saying is that is actually another way of, I've heard this very same advice from Dolores, that we can tear up the contract. Now, tearing up the contract doesn't mean that, okay, I'm not going to play with you anymore. It's a deeper message where you actually forgive for that person and yourself and say, look, we tried to do this, but you cannot. So what it does is you are no longer putting that attention and energy on another person and trying to fix something. So you tell them, look, I know your behavior was not ideal. We tried to make it, but I'm going to have to tear this contract up. And by doing that, you are actually stopping that emotional charge. So it is a forgiveness, and it's forgiving both parties and moving on with love. It's like you're playing ping pong, and if one party says, you know what, okay, say you start as a friendly game, right, and then you win, and the other person says, well, let's just play like best of three, and best of three again, maybe you win the second and say, all right, let's make it best of five, and you keep on going best of 5, 7, 9, 15, 25, and each time the one that's losing want to have another round. So at some point you say, you know what, I'm done playing with this. You're a great player. Thank you for playing with me, but that's it. I gotta go. So once you stop playing this, karmic ping pong, it stops. Yeah, you can. But once you do that, you can't just do it just by a casual statement. You got to do that with your entire being. You need to fully be in that vibration where you're able to wish them love. If you're not able to wish them love in this transaction, then it's not complete. It's just a way of you trying to bypass your own discomfort. But once you do that from your heart, you have ended. Love dissolves everything. So yes, it's a powerful tool. Go from your heart and tear up the contract. It no longer keeps you in the loop when you do that.
Okay, I got a question also privately, and it's actually very similar to what I was saying just now. The question was, a person has gone through sexual abuse as a child. The emotional trauma from this has haunted them throughout the years and has evolved into a morbid energy within them. That's what I was saying. There is an energy which is not really moving. And this is very difficult for for love to manifest. So the question is how to forgive, who to forgive, and where to start. Brother Saha, you like to take that?
Yeah, I'll touch upon something that comes through in QHHT sessions, which is very profound. Even the women who opted to have a child after being raped. Okay, now this sounds crazy to us. She got raped at the age of 18 or 22, and she's not seeking any justice to the rapist, whatever. All she wants to do is to have that baby, and she might even lose her family over that. And then there are times where people say, well, I got pregnant from a one night stand. Why that happened? This guy doesn't want to be the father of my children. When you go into the subconscious mind, when you see why that happened, even the rape, even the one night stand that got her pregnant, was all planned by the soul. Now, sexual abuse, why it has happened, and why we have in some lifetime, when we go back, you would see, if you had that, why you attracted this and why this was part of your experiences, because sometimes it's almost directly the same experience that you have created for someone else. And because we are not aware of our first half of the story, we say, wow, a huge injustice has been done to me, and forever I am condemned now, and I cannot move further. So when we understand that we are the ones that create these experiences, but we don't remember that. Now, somebody will say, well, how can I remember it? Well, unfortunately, there are only a couple of ways. Either regression hypnosis or deep meditation, or working with a intuitive healer that can go in. But I found hypnosis to be the fastest technique, because you get to see the entire movie yourself, with names, place, dates, and faces of people who are playing this current play right now in your life. And yes, all I could say to anyone who's battling with the trauma of that is that this is an experience you created yourself in order to learn a lesson, and that lesson was not learned in a past life. So in one lifetime you were the victim, and in this one you are the perpetrator. But in order to grow from this, we need to remove both those labels and say, well, things unfolded as per the plans we wrote. And to find peace, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive the so-called perpetrator. You got to forgive anybody else who's involved, who you might blame your parents or family for a certain upbringing or not giving you enough protection. The time we could let go of that. And I'll tell you, for the Sai devotees here, a very powerful story. There's a lady, Al Drucker's wife. Al Drucker's wife, what's her name? Jana Drucker. She was raped in Puttaparthi. Now, I don't know whether it was inside the compound or outside the compound. Doesn't matter. She was raped in Puttaparthi. One night, a very rough-looking man barged into her room, and she was raped. And while she was being raped, like any Sai devotee would do, she called for Swami. She called him in all the names she knew. Swami didn't come. She got raped, and as the rapist walked out, she had a prompting to tell this rapist, may God bless you. Now that itself shows what a strong devotee that lady is. And this person looked back at her and with really angry emotions and basically biting his teeth told her, God won't bless me, God hates me. And something to that effect, God hates me, and walked off. So a day or two go by, she tells her story, and the other people got together, went to the police, lodged in a complaint, and they found the guy and put him behind bars. Somehow, while in prison, this guy wrote to Yanni Drucker and asking her to pray to God for him. And being a good Sai devotee, she did that. But something still was in her mind. She was angry with Swami. Why didn't you help me? Fair enough question, right? Swami says, I'm there before your troubles, right? Call my name and I will help you. So she was having this struggle. Here I was getting raped in Puttaparthi, and where were you? So one time she could not hold this anymore. While Swami was giving them a darshan or interview, she asked him, Swami, why didn't you, help me? And then Swami asked the question very simple. What happened to you? And this made her so angry, because here's the one that knows everything is asking, what happened to you? So she put more emphasis and said, Swami, why did you let that happen? Then Swami puts more emphasis on his reply and say, what happened to you? And it made her more angry and asked for the third time. And third time, Swami again says, but what happened to you? In that, she understood that nothing happened to her. That experience was for the mind and the body. But the eternal witness, the Atma, nothing happened to her. Is above and beyond all these places and experiences. So the lesson is very deep. But she said at that time when she realized that what really happened to me, and the answer is nothing, because she is the eternal witness, the Atma, she was able to drop all those labels of the victim and the perpetrator and the blame and the shame game and say, wow, nothing happened to me. So this is not going to come overnight to people, but this is where we are going, because the more we become godlike, everything else becomes just an experience. There are no wrongdoers. There's no good, bad, right and wrong, light and dark. It starts just falling apart. And that's the only way to find happiness, when we really understand who we are. We are God, we are Atma, the eternal witness, which cannot be destroyed by anything. Well, then we find peace. So the only way for you to find peace, what I would suggest to you is to see it from that perspective, that it's part of the divine play that you co-created. And if you go into the blame game, you will not find peace. So forgive yourself for being part of this contract, and forgive the other person for agreeing to be the other party in this contract, and then to hug each other and say, wow, we played it well. Because the experience only for your body and the mind, but for not who you really are. So I hope that will help you in your path. And also, if you have an opportunity, I would highly recommend a past life regression, because if a part of your mind is preventing you from going there, once you witness that, it'll give you the tools that you need in order to let this go and move forward. Bless you.
Saram, brother.
Saram.
Is there a role of, is there a positive side to being angry? Is there a positive side to anger in rectifying a situation? Or is it always negative?
See, things as it is, emotion on its own, okay, is not positive or negative, right? It's how we give it meaning. So when what happens is that your body, okay, this is the interesting part. Things happen. Okay, say something happened to you. You got super angry 10 years ago at an office, whatever meeting, and you slammed the computer, gave a nice list of names to your boss, and you quit your job and you left. All right. Now, 10 years later, you think about it, and you get into rage again. You don't feel remorse, but you get into rage. Oh my God, I couldn't believe those people did this to me. Now what's happening is not what happened to you, but your body is remembering this experience at a cellular level. It's the emotion that is trapped that has kept you trapped in this experience. So until we deal with the emotion and transmute it, you will continue to attract similar lessons because the energy is still in your body. And your body is telling your mind what it should think. But once you take that out, you no longer have that. So yes, you will have anger. It's normal to experience that because we have a huge range of emotions to experience. But if we see it as, okay, this is good, this is bad, I'm so terrible for feeling this way, or I'm so good for feeling this way, then we are not able to really be the observer. So when you get angry, once again, saying it's no positive or negative. Yes, I got angry and it was triggered. There's something inside me to heal. Thank you for showing up and telling me that I have to work on it and start from there. Because if you start seeing it as a negative or a positive thing, once again, you get caught in the polarities, which will not help you to be the witness that you really are. So try to remove the labels and see it as an experience and say, okay, what emotion did that cause inside me? And is the emotion still there? Okay, if it's still there, how can I transmute it? So this is what I would suggest for you to go and try to understand as negative anger or positive anger. No, it's just anger. Anger is anger. But it can create a positive or a negative emotion within you. So work on the emotions, and then you will see it in a higher level of awareness.
So there's nothing good or bad about anger in itself. Is that right? So for example, just trying to think of a situation. Say for example, I don't know, somebody's used my name and they've splashed it across a social media site, and I'm really cross with it. I didn't give permission for them to do that, and I'm very angry with that. So is it right or wrong to be angry, or I mean, if I'm angry with that person, they may go and correct it, and they'll never make that same mistake again, and therefore there's a positive output. But then, was it wrong for me to be angry in that instance, or what?
See, you got to understand who is feeling that anger and for what purpose. Yes, you will feel angry if you're very attached to your identity as Vikash and somebody did something wrong to you, right? Now, we don't know why that happened to you, right? So instead of saying, well, I'm going to teach them a lesson, you're putting so much more energy, not just anger. What happens is these vibrations, when you have that intense emotion, okay, things that cripple you and make your heartbeat goes faster, you're losing your energy. You're limiting the bandwidth of the source energy coming through you. So if that happens, yes, initially you'll get upset, but you could watch yourself and say, all right, I'm upset about this. I'm not pleased about one bit. I don't condone this activity. Okay, but what do I do next? Do I slam my coffee mug and slam the computer and yell at my staff? Or I'm going to say, okay, I'm upset. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to be upset. Fine. But afterwards, I'm going to think how to resolve this. And how much kindness can I add to this mix so I will not escalate this? But if not, from that first shock, you go into being upset and disappointed, and then you start thinking more and more about it. You're actually putting more and more energy behind this experience. You may end up being very resentful. You'll hate people. And that's the danger you cause for yourself. So once you feel upset, you can say, all right, okay, I felt it, but how can I stop it from going to the next level? So that's where you find peace. That's just showing you what's within you that you need to correct. But if you entertain that, you will find yourself in a place that you don't even know how to come back now because you entertain that. Nobody else. You have the power any given time to say, I'm not playing ping pong, walking away. But you want to play the best of 3 and the best of 5 and the best of 7. And now you don't even know how many games you played. So we have the power every given time to make that choice how to diffuse it. So that's the lesson to be learned. And in that, once you move, you say, well, it happened, another experience. That's it. So try to become the witness every single time, and it helps you to go from mind space to heart space. It's not easy because we are conditioned to see the other way, to fight back and to give a piece of our mind. Giving a piece of mind, give a piece of your heart. So the more
Yes.
you do this, the easier it will become.
Yeah. So okay. So the anger arises, or the impatience arises, and what you're saying is that instead of going with that in the mind, we should try to witness it, go back into the heart space, and allow that emotion not to overpower us.
Exactly.
And therefore
Exactly.
go back into the heart space.
Yes. Yes.
Well, sometimes it
It's
feels so good just to let it out.
yeah. See the well. I mean, it becomes a letting out if you hold it. But if you just let it pass through, there's not really a letting out. You're just allowing it to flow like a passing cloud. It becomes to really release and let it out. That happens when we have hold on to it. We've gripped onto it and made it my problem now. Now I don't even know where the exit's so finally I don't know how to let it go. And sometimes it just jumps out in some other situation because you had not let go of that situation. So it's now spilling on to something else. And you all of a
Yeah.
sudden become the most unpopular guy at work or the worst dad in the world because you did not resolve that 5 years ago with somebody else.
Yeah, is that a possible danger that the emotion arises, we witness it, but yet we don't let go of it, even though we've witnessed it,
Yes.
we've not let
Yes.
it take us over, but yet at some level it's still ingrained within us, and we haven't let go of it, and therefore it arises again and again and again.
Yes.
That,
Suppressed emotions will come back again and again. It's like it'll keep on coming back. That's why the healing comes in. So instead of putting it away and it coming back when you find similar situation with resonance, you deal with it. You say, why am I feeling this way? What caused me to be so upset? And once you take those layers out, you'll say, wow, I don't really have to get upset. What's the purpose of it? How can I add kindness to this and stop playing this game? So you shift the focus. And the more you do that, now you're building a new way of software, new software in your brain to deal with this without letting your old program still run, which is take revenge or get even or give a piece of your mind and let them feel their own medicine, whatever. All this will drop away.
so the way of actually letting go of it, I think you're saying, is that we should dive deep into it and process it and understand it and trace it back to the root.
Exactly. Exactly. Gosh,
Okay.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Because most of the times we put it to the side because we don't want to deal with the pain that comes with it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
painful. So we put it away. And then we
Yeah.
say, well, it was not my problem. I was just fine until this da person walked in and did this. So
Yeah.
so this is where we gotta go and see within and say, okay, what's my role in this? What did I do? What was my part? How could I
And
have
sometimes,
changed this?
sure. And sometimes this subtle ego can also creep in, thinking that, okay, anger has arisen, I've witnessed it, I've dealt with it, and that's it. But actually, that's not it, because at some level it's still there.
Yes.
Because I haven't processed it fully, I haven't gone into it fully, I haven't embraced it fully, I haven't gone back to the root cause of it fully and
Yes.
understood deeply with conviction that what is the
Yes.
root of it, what is the cause of it, how has it arisen. That's very
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Saha?
Sure.
Okay. So I was listening silently from the beginning, your talk, And somehow I'm feeling that what I'm not asking you, someone is asking for me for the answer.
Yes, it
What is
always happens
this?
in group discussions. That's the beauty of the group chats.
Yeah, when someone else is asking that question on behalf of me, uh, it's like, uh, is that still I'm holding on to that, or what? Can you tell?
No, you obviously want to ask a question because at some deeper level, we all know this is the beautiful part of this. Though we like to pretend that there is no answer or there's no solution, and why am I deep inside, we all know the answer. We all know it's got to do with us, but we're not comfortable with that answer because that's going to require us to let go of some of the beliefs we are holding. So we say, well, there has to be another answer. This cannot be the answer because I'm not happy with that answer because that answer is going to make me uncomfortable. It's gonna put responsibility back on me for being part of this because all this time I'm saying my life was great, I was doing wonderful until this, whatever, how many adjectives you want to use, came along and did this to me or said this to me. From that day onwards, I'm like this. So everybody out there, please feel sorry for me and hate the other guy because I was so good. They did this to me and this is how bad they are. Now, but deep inside, we know, hey, we had a part to play in it. So when somebody asks a question, it's been because these are things that we all struggle with. Because what's the last thing the ego wants to do is to take blame, right? Ego only wants praise. It doesn't want to be blamed for anything. It's always right. so so when these kind of things happen, when it has to take the blame, it's very uncomfortable. So when somebody asks a question, is because we all have the same question within us of letting go and seeing everything as an experience. So it's a common thread, and we experience that in different ways. Could be with the boss, could be with wife, could be with the children, could be with the neighbor, could be with a business partner. So it keeps on popping up, and it's good when people ask, somebody else's question get answered because it's a common problem we all have. But what you got to do as an individual is like, all right, next time I come across this test again, how am I going to deal with it? Am I going to use my same old toolkit from before, or I'm going to take my big tub of kindness and put it all over first as the painkiller? Then I see how you can, treat this wound. So you have a choice now. First thing you're going to pull out now is your big tub of kindness cream, and you're going to put that on first. Then everything else changes. That's a painkiller.
Okay. So during these sessions, I was feeling that, and I'm seeing that what you're saying, who I thought, or a group of persons whom I thought as offenders are actually not that, and I can't even say that to other person that they are offending, and I was in so much pain for not realizing that. And again, it's first we have to be kind to ourselves, and then only we can spread that. That was the thing I was learning through these sessions.
Yes. And also, there's another thing. Always understand, no one can make you feel bad or no one can make you feel guilty or shameful unless you give them permission to do so. It's only when you believe that story that you give them power to make you feel that way by their words. So imagine when you're walking down the road, your name is Rama Devi, and somebody calls you Ramona. You're not going to respond to it because you're Rama Devi, right? And only time you will become Ramona is because if you start believing that, oh, maybe I am, maybe she's right. And then you start believing you're Ramona. Well, then whatever that Ramona has done is yours now. So if somebody calls you something and you're not that, who's taking offense? It's nothing. Only if you let them say that you believing that it's true, then it will trouble you. No matter how many times somebody tells you something, you don't believe in that, would that bother you? Any concept, any idea without a belief behind it is powerless. It's the belief behind that is giving it power. So if you believe that what they're saying is true, then you give that power, and in return you experience all the sadness. But if you don't give it that power, you don't believe that, you know your Atma, you're the eternal witness, then whatever they say is meaningless. So somebody was talking to me the other day on WhatsApp saying, well, I want to do this, but people think we are crazy. So I told her, for me, it doesn't matter what people think. Because somebody thinking from their own pain and their own limited mind, why would I be bothered by it? It's like a great painter asking for feedback from a blind person. Is it relevant? If the great painters start doubting themselves based on a feedback of a blind person, well, we got a big problem there. So same thing. It comes down to what you believe about yourself. Don't give your power away. It doesn't mean you're not open to see what's wrong with you. But many a times when people are speaking from a point of pain and they want to blame somebody else, if we take ownership of what they're saying, and we are not strong enough to understand it's coming from their pain, it's not about us. But if we take ownership of what we're saying, thinking it's something personal, then we are in trouble. We just made that conflict worse. Everyone with me on this so far? Do you have any questions on this concept?
I do have a.
Okay, I need not take the ownership of what others say. I should believe in myself, and that example which you brought up with really something. We should be very rooted in our self, rooted that self and nothing else. And is there any going back
Mama,
and forth that I am self at one point?
I am losing you on and off. I'm not sure if it's just me or everybody else, but
Everybody else, I think.
okay. All of a sound, you sounded like a Martian.
Yeah.
You there, Rama?
Yes, I am here. Some reconnection has happened. I'm going back one time. It's that I am that feeling, and other time all these things coming up. Is there
Sister Rama, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, Rama, we can't hear anything what you're saying.
1 minute, I will go to the area where I get net. So, is it audible now?
Yes, way better.
Okay. Through all these sessions, there is an experiences that I am not this body, I'm not this mind, and I am one with that consciousness. Yes, and again, when someone
Losing you again.
thoughts are related, yeah. Okay.
After you said the word consciousness, we lost you again.
If someone is talking, okay, now it is okay.
Now it's better.
Okay, so in that space, it is all good. And when someone is talking about these negative things or heart pain, and again, I am resonating with that. So what is actually happening? Can you please tell?
You want to be the eternal witness? I couldn't really hear exactly what the question was. It wasn't clear to me. So what I can do is this: if you could always send me a voice note on WhatsApp, and I will respond to you personally. We'll give the time for someone else before we wrap up today, because the question's
Okay.
not coming through. You can send me a WhatsApp message.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have a question.
sure.
Can I? It's good that you're saying to be a witness and all that. I just joined just a few minutes ago, and I was listening to Brother Vikash talking about it. It's interesting because Thursday, I think it was June 4th, yes, something that happened, it just bothered me so much. And when something bothers me really very much, I just walk into the prayer room and then I just talk to Swami. That is my style. And then I'll just tell, why is that you're letting yourself being insulted or being treated like this, Swami? Why don't you understand that why don't people understand that, you are there in my heart also, and then what happens is, he'll put me through something, and that's it. Like I just, I will be, it hurts me because it takes time for the hurt to go away. But I have already said it mentioned it to Swami, so he will take care. Then what happens, the very next day, he puts me to the purificatory mantras and to learn the purificatory mantras. And then I get a note from Brother Vikash, because I love him, and asking me to, to see if I could chant that section. I was so happy. I was so happy because that is the way, like, Swami answers my, my prayers. He has always done that whenever I walk in. What am I doing? Am I being a witness, or am I being, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do, here. Can you can you say something about it? And,
Yeah. Go on.
I'm sorry. And Friday also, you came to our station, um, I think it was Friday I had a very good spiritual experience. And at this point, I'm not able to explain it. Like, I'm just waiting for some more days to go by so that I can, I will be able to talk about it. And that happened Thursday, and Sunday again, I was hurt again by some of the events that was happening. Again, the same thing. Why is that you're taken advantage of? Why is that you're taken advantage of? And then I just go, Swami, won't people understand that you are there in my heart? Why is this happening? Again, I, shed tears there. And that's when Brother Vikash comes, to say the Lagunyasam, and, Swami just telling me, don't worry, I'm there for you, I'm there for you. You don't worry about this incident. So it will be nice, like, if you just tell me what's the process I'm going through. And this is what I've been, and always when I go walk in, when I say something, either in silence or when I, if there's tears come out of my eyes, why is this happening? Swami has always come back and given some indication to me, either through the dreams of my mother or in my own dreams. He comes and he says, don't worry, and the Friday that it was your talk that day, like on the US Canadian station. And I was extremely surprised, it was just in a minute, spiritual experience that went through me, And please just try to, if you can explain what I'm going through, that will be, that
Okay,
will help me.
I'll share my perspective on it. So what you say to Swami when you're hurt is you go and tell Swami that, Swami, can't you, why can't they say that you are in my heart? Is that your prayer?
Yes, why can't they see that you are in my, why is
Okay.
this like, people, when they know that of one status is going to help them, they are very nice to those people. And then they treat the people of who in their minds they perceive that they are of lesser status, they treat them in another way, forgetting. And that sad to see that in the own what to say, in a spiritual community itself, like people are like that, like,
Oh yeah.
they treat people, they don't see the same Swami in everybody. They, the status comes in, oh, they are of
Well,
higher status and these are of lower status.
well, the reason why it's bothering you is because you believe in the concept of higher and lower yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you let go of the idea that the same Swami that you go and tell Swami, why can't they see the Swami within me? Well, you have to also train yourself to see the same Swami in them, regardless of what they say, because at the core, they are the same Swami that is inside your heart too. It's the same one,
Mm-hmm.
100% the same. So the idea why it's bothering is that, like, you cannot make somebody else feel you high or low unless you give them permission to do so. And what matters is how high or how low you are in your spiritual path in terms of getting Swami's approval. And all that should matter is how high you are on his grading scale. Everyone else, no matter whether they've been with Swami for 50 years or 50 minutes, and what they say is coming from their human filters. It depends how much they have integrated the Swami into their thoughts, words, and deeds. They may be having Swami in their thoughts, but giving 50% of that in their words and 10% in their actions.
That's
So,
true.
so we are all doing that. We are not always, and the only way to find Swami is to be in that congruence of thought, word, and deed. So once we go to Swami and say, Swami, why can't they see? Well, Swami, help me to see you in them. That prayer will be also accepted by Swami. Instead of saying, Swami, why can't they see Swami in me? Say, Swami, help me to see you in them. That will take away the emotional charge that you have towards whatever they are saying or doing. Because then you start saying, oh, it's Swami doing it. So if Swami reprimands you, you will.
I lost you, Mr. Saha. I can't hear you.
Yes, we all lost him. Well, Saha?
God.
Yeah, I think we lost him. I was just going to comment on that. It's a very powerful statement that Swami, this brother Saha has said. He was saying that, the only way we can find Swami is when we have the confluence of thought, word, and deed, the alignment of thought, word, and deed. And this is so powerful because we need to, in a way, really manifest this. We really need to manifest it in thought, word, and deed. Whatever Swami has been saying, that I'm in everybody, I am in you, I am in him, I am everywhere, I'm all around you. And in order to gain this experience, the thought, word, and deed alignment need to be there, because that's where the energy is, and the focus and the word verbalization of the truth. The thought is on him, and the love that's manifesting. This alignment, and with this huge alignment that's happening outside in the cosmos, it's once the energy comes, is really literally enlightenment. Okay, so this is something which is very dear to me because I've been in the of course I'm born Buddhist, and Buddha is holds very dear to me, and this thing for enlightenment is very, very dear to me. So it's almost like I'm able to see this manifesting now, and there's such great opportunity for everybody to do this right now. Brother Saha, are you back online? We still lost him. Okay, I think he got locked out. All right. Does that help you, sister?
Sir, yes, it does. But I had another question as well. I don't know how to phrase it. I'm just mind how to phrase it. So just give me some moment, please. It is good. But give me some seconds. Let me, I'm just trying to phrase this, how to put it across. It is,
Sure, no
like
worries.
a friend of mine was going through, the same kind of situations, but the thing, very, very strong, not fearful. And because Swami was everything, but then, my friend got into a situation where this person was, it was a very difficult situation, let's put it that way, very difficult situation for too many years. And then when that situation, like where in that situation where the, where my friend was made to believe that she's nothing, or she's, her voice doesn't matter. And because every time, like if she wants to voice or something, consistently it was coming, I think the difficult thing was going on, saying that she does not matter and all those things, with all kinds of difficulties with the person. So, all after quite many years, they don't want to do, she didn't want to deal with that person because it only creates fear, So Mr. Saha says, like, you have to put the face of Swami on the person. It's very difficult to put the face of Swami on the person who's trying to, be the only thing that my friend is saying is she's only able to see the person who, in that difficult situation, whatever difficulties that the person put that my friend through, and she's going back because she's she's not interested in conflicts. She's not interested, constant criticism, not this, not that, not this, not, you're not, of course, neti, like, like Swami says in Tapovanam, but she's had it, and she's not able to, when she has gone to a place where she's only, I think, reacting and not able to respond, to the situation, because all that comes up is, okay, I only heard of this negativity for so long, I really don't want to deal with this anymore.
Sister, if I could share with you what I feel, I understand where you're coming from. I understand the feelings of
it will
your
help
friend.
my friend.
Yes. Actually, to tell you the truth, that is what a lot of that's what's happening in America now, with the blacks feeling that they have been mistreated, and they feel that they don't have their rights and their voice, and it's been suppressed for so long, and it's time to stand up. We've been abused. That feeling, it's coming up. This feeling is coming up in layers, and I could even see well, with Swami's grace, while we are on the cosmic flight, I managed to see some part of this. This is not only one layer. There are many layers underneath. It is also, blacks is just, they are pretty much standing up for another group, which is also being mistreated and kind of suppressed. And then there's another group down there. So this is like, is part of awakening process. And I could see that a lot of good is coming out of this. You see a lot of bowing down happening, and people humbling down, and when they actually seek for forgiveness. And this seeking for forgiveness it's happening in a mass scale. People are really right. This is a part of an awakening, and we need to forgive. This is the time where, you know, you need to manifest this part of you. Otherwise, we won't understand what's love. We don't know what's love. What is unconditional love if we don't forgive, right? So yes, unconditional love is really something else. It's really, it is what we have inside us. And God, if Swami keeps saying I'm inside you, and God, you know, Swami is unconditional love, then it's a matter of time before this unconditional love would totally manifest 360 degrees all around us, like a star, like a sun. So this is a real breakthrough we are talking about. You know, we are really talking about a real shift in consciousness, a real manifestation of divine energy, love, and forgiveness and compassion and peace coming out from your body, you know, from inside you. So this is really a call, and it's no coincidence that we are all talking about this right now, to expound on it in every way we can, and citing example, and for you to even bring this up. Yeah. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, it's true. But once we forgive, light comes, and when light comes, you will be able to see through a lot of things which you know, a lot of us kind of miss. We miss seeing it because, you know, we are believing only one side of what we want to believe. So when the light comes, it really illuminates and shows what happened actually, you know. And a lot of times, even this morning when in the cosmic craft, this operation was going on, when they're pulling up these contracts out of my body, I could see my past. I saw the contracts. I saw where I did it, what happened, how come I'm engaged in it, and, you know, why did I take part in it. And these are part of illumination and awakening of consciousness. And because you become conscious of even your past just get illuminated. Yes, so it's part of you know, this awakening of light and love.
I understand what you're saying. See, when I was in 7th grade, when I went to, that was the first time I saw Baba. I was given Baba's name itself, and, you know, but the first time I ever saw him and I had his blessings, it was such a spiritual currents going through my body. And that's when, you know, he prepared me for the world. I think at that point, you know, I was able to study well, and, you know, I didn't know what fear was. And then all of a sudden, you know, when my friend was telling about, you know, she was telling about all these things, like in just into a wrong relationship, I think, for a long time, you know, couldn't. And then sometimes, like, I wonder what happened, Swami. You gave so much of courage and encouragement and everything was taken off consistently for this many years being put through. There is no vengeance. It is never, one thing about me is like and um, God, please. It never comes up to hurt people. I really thank Swami for, for giving that kind of a mindset, no matter what it is, and you go
Yes,
through.
definitely appreciate that your tolerance and patience and forbearance, ability to hold yourself. This is really values which highly regarded. And Swami used to talk about forbearance, Shama. And I know I've seen myself how Swami, when he speaks about Shama, he goes into tears. He expounds on Shama. He talks about bear all and do nothing. Bear all and do nothing. It's almost it's a call to manifest that characteristics of inside us. And this is the one which bring forth a lot of tremendous inner energy to really manifest within us. Yes.
It's only because of Swami all this is happening. It's not, and then, and sometimes I wonder, all that is lost, Swami. All that is, what you gave me, I don't think it is lost, because I still go back and, talk with him. There is a connection with him, and he always talks through me, like giving me these kind of messages. But it's very difficult when I'm, it's again a difficult situation when I'm put through, like I'm not able to put Swami's face. I'm only, I'm only able to put the difficult situation,
Yes, I totally understand what you're saying, and I do see that this is gonna be even in the fifth dimension. If you were to read about it, right there, if you ask what are the precautions and what are the things we should look out for in the fifth dimension while crossing into the fifth dimension, it is something like this: walking on walking on a tightrope. You have to hold on, and we are very lucky, all of us, many of us, and also those who are believe, who has a guru and Lord. They have the guru to walk them on the tightrope, because this is really, it's like a shortcut. It's a shortcut path, but we need to be very careful on while walking this road. So yes, we need him. We need the guru. We are very lucky to have him in our life, where we can go through this with some light with us. Yeah, totally. I feel what you're saying, and I totally appreciate that you could share all this. I know it's not easy, and really salutations to your forbearance and patience throughout all this.
It's only because of Swami that, and I'm very, very thankful to Swami to my mother for gifting Swami to me, because right in her womb itself, she instilled him in me. So every cell of my body is just him. And that's why it's very difficult for me to understand the concept of shunyata, because if anything happens, like I just go lay down my head on his lap and I'm comfortable there. As soon as I do that, every thought dissolves. And that is my comfort zone. Hopefully I'll be able to get over this, I hope I don't know how I'm going to get rid of it. I also I mentioned that to Swami as well. You gave me this birth, you take it, you want me to go through all these things, because this is my last birth. And as my mother said, there will not be no more birth. Then you take care of the situation too, because I can't deal with this. Sometimes I really can't deal when, because I get into the drama, I guess, of the situation, that Swami is not being treated right, who resides in my heart. Hopefully I'll get over it.
Definitely. We are actually all with you. We are one monad and we are one family. So there's lots of love and energy coming from here. So don't feel you are alone. We are all in this together.
I will tell my friend about what you said. Thank you.
Same feeling, Satya. So whenever I can't deal anymore, I just put my head on the lap of Swami and just going to sleep. That's what I am. I am doing. Yes. What all I am listening is like we are moving more into the oneness. So we are feeling each other's. That is what I am feeling.
Thank you, Sister Amma. And I just wanted to say, like when you were mentioning, Mr. Julius, that you know, these are certain things that you have to watch out when you walk into the fifth dimension. But I don't know whether, maybe you said it and maybe I didn't hear it, like what we need to watch for walking into the fifth dimension.
Sure. It's pretty much we need to let go of a lot of third dimensional baggage and attachments and our pretty much our old monad maybe, yeah. So we need to walk, we need to move forward to our light body, our higher self, and that walking is not easy because we need to in a way pull ourselves out, but also there is a pulling happening on the other side, so the fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional assistance and grace is coming through. So we need to look forward towards light. That would help a lot, know that we are the light body, we are not the physical body, we are not the mind, we are not this attachments. We are the light body and we need to move towards the light body. So yes, that's where the tightrope
Maybe
is.
that's what happened. I think on Friday, the spiritual experience I was having, but I'm just waiting for some time, like where I'll be able to open about it, because one of the things that happened was Swami was very gracious enough to come in my mother's dream. And my mother was just mentioning to him that Satya has not have a baby yet. And then Swami had mentioned to her, ask her to repeat this mantra, and left. I had the letter that she wrote and I saved it. And the thing is, 93, it happened. And I had briefly, before that, I had gone to meet Swami and he had looked very deep into my eyes. And then he didn't say anything at that time when I saw him. But when I came back, my mother had written and then 97, my son was born. Okay. And after that, I was able to explain, I was able to mention to people that this is what happened. It was because of Swami's thing. The same thing, I think, at the same level, the spiritual experience that I had on Friday, I'm just holding it and cherishing it, and that Swami will one day make me talk about it as well. I'm waiting for certain signs to come through. I'll be able to open up then. So let's see. Let me wait and see.
Yes, definitely. Swami is with you and he will show you the way on what to do every step of the way. I'm very sure about that. Thank you for sharing your experience. Yes. And for all the rest of you, we are all moving as one. We are
I'm very
definitely.
sorry if I stepped out of line, because this is a group meeting and I don't know what the norms of the group are, and I was talking too much today. And this is also, sometimes when I wake up with a meditation, I do my meditation and I do my morning routines with my prayers. And for some reason, I wanted to come on, I switched on, I turned on, I just saw the the WhatsApp, and then I said, just go in. It's the Adi Parashakti, like, about feminine thing. Go in and see. And then the topic was, I never had the intention of opening up. So please forgive me if I was stepped way out of line or anything in my discussions. And I'm a very private person also. It's very difficult to open up. So, I hope I didn't step on anybody's foot or anybody's boundaries.
Okay, so yeah, Brother Saha sent something. Yeah, he apologized for not being able to come in, but somehow he's able to send some documents here.
No, I'm here. I managed to log back in and I heard what you were saying.
Super.
But I'm sharing these two links for everyone. It shows somebody who was so close to Shirdi Sai Baba in that lifetime, how they were not able to remember that until they met Satya Sai Baba one life later. So I recommend this story to everyone. When you read this, you understand that things are way beyond way beyond what we think it is in the linear world. It's a beautiful story, part 1 and part 2, and enjoy it. And it will give you a whole new perspective on how, just between one life, how much different experiences we can have.
Excuse me, so where did you send the link to?
It's on the chat of this group.
Quantum accession, right?
No, on the chat group, what we are having now on
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
How do I copy this and to
Okay,
my...
what I'll do is I'll just post that again on the Quantum Ascension group so everybody can have access to it. I just thought, listening to your chat with Brother Julius, that this may help you and everyone else here, because it certainly blew my mind when I read that.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll post that now on the Quantum Ascension group. Okay.
I just beg the forgiveness of the group if I just stepped on anybody's feet or boundaries. Please excuse me.
No,
Not at all.
No, Sister Satya, you're not. I think you're also helping other people.
Yeah.
There's only one person who speaks, but inadvertently, there's always so many that benefit from it. So don't be sorry. Don't be sorry for anything. It's again Swami that made you talk.
Yes, that's true. Instrument, So, and that too, for me to this morning to come on, just his wish for me to come here on here, and and he guided me. He was there to help me throughout. So
Satya, I have to say this. When you're talking a friend, I am feeling that I am your friend. And you are talking on behalf of me. This is what I'm feeling. So all are one. So no one is separate here. So
okay, thank you.
okay.
Thank you for sharing that with everyone.
Thank you, sir. I really enjoy your talks, yours and Julius. It was, I think it was Swami's grace also for me to come and listen to you both.
He always makes magic. I can't go into detail, but I will tell you there was a private satsang with Swami a few days ago, and there were some beautiful nuggets. And one of the people in the group said, Swami, I will try harder to. Then Swami said, no, don't try harder. Just go into your heart. So he said, it's not being hard, but it's in the heart. So it becomes hard when you're not in the heart. So he was so powerful with his words. So not to try harder, but just go into your heart. And that's where everything happens, all the magic.
Any Saha, Mr. Saha.
Don't call me Mr. Just call me Saha.
Okay.
We're all one. Yeah.
See, like I was mentioning, when I was in 7th grade, even though my mother introduced Swami in her womb itself, the best gift that she gave me in my life, I was able to see him when I was in the 7th grade, and he touched me, and then the spiritual currents went through. I knew means I didn't know what fear was until all these certain things happened. How am I? How will I be able to get back to that, to that sense of, it does take a toll when you go through difficult for a long period, 21 years, even the Pandavas were only for 14 years in the forest, and you're being made to carry the cross for too long. It's too, it does get to you. Like, how do you get back to that place of, I think you have said already, you might have mentioned, but I don't know why I'm slipping back into this space of how do you get back to that safe place, that this fearlessness, to a place of where there's no fear. When Swami blessed me, why did I lose it? Where did it go? And I think that, 21 years, did I lose it? How will I ever come back to that space, Swami?
Well, there's two things at play. Divine grace also have to be met with human effort. Just because Swami blesses us, it's like you get yourself a ticket and your seat is there, but you still have to show up at the airport and get on that flight. It's your responsibility to come to the airport on time, go through check-in procedures, and get to your boarding gate before they close that. Now, Swami's given you the ticket. He's gotten you the seat. But if you don't show up there and don't make an effort to get to the boarding gate, you're hanging around at the duty-free, and you get there 5 minutes after the gate is closed, it's not Swami's fault. So in this path, Swami has blessed all of us. All of us. That's why we even heard his name in this lifetime. There are millions still who wasn't even heard the name Sai Baba. So we've got the blessing, and that's the very reason we got to put more effort to go in that path. So it's up to us, 21 years or 14 years or 9 years or 30 years. If we hold on to the story, then we are suffering for 50 years. But if you let go of that story, Swami says everything is a passing cloud. And he also says, why fear when I'm here? So if you let go and say it's a passing cloud, then you free yourself. But if you hold on to the story, well, you're going to have to watch the same movie over and over. And the same parts are going to scare you because you know exactly what's going to happen in the next scene. So it's the same horror movie you're going to watch every night, sharp at 8 o'clock. So you need to stop watching it. And the power is within you.
See,
Power is
yeah, it was only after 21 years, like I just walked off. So, because I couldn't take it, nothing changed. No matter whatever love you had in your heart, it's just taken off. Like, because of the situations, and then that's what I'm saying. It's like a Holocaust situation. Let's put it like it was like Holocaust, mini Holocaust that was going on. And I've heard some people who have been in the, in those real situations. They were able to, the tool that they had in their hand was forgiveness, and they were able to move on because of that. And apart from that, I have a chronic illness, and I just figured recently the doctor's office called that there were some numbers that were low, and I have to bring those numbers up too. And that's why I think I was feeling so sleepy, and just going off in the middle of a talk, I will just go off to sleep. Sometimes I wonder, I want to get back to the same place. You know, I do understand, and it is human effort. One thing went into my head: it's human effort, but I need a lot of energy too, sir, to get there.
It takes a lot of energy to hold on to things, actually. It takes very little energy to let go. The amount of effort we put to hold on to something, we don't realize that when we are in it. But it takes a lot more energy to hold on to something, which is taking away energy from where we should be. But once we let go, we find all that energy and we could redirect it. Right now, the energy is misdirected because you're looking at the rear view mirror instead of looking through the windshield of your car. So it's normal when you have such things, but at some point, if everybody says their story is so bad, I can, but I had to burst your bubble here.
Mm-hmm.
If you think your story is bad, there are 1,000 people who's got worse stories than you. One of the things I tell people is to get rid of this story, because this story is what keeps you there. And this part of in your mind, I'm telling you this from my work in quantum healing hypnosis, the part of the mind wants to hold on to the victim mode because that's your branding. That's become the story now. You believe that it becomes your story. And there's a fear, a subtle fear to let go of that story and say, what would I be without this story? Now, it's hard to imagine that but that happens a lot of time to people. They want to let go, but at the same time, they want to hold on to the story because they feel fearful. Who am I without this 21 years of my life? That's my story there. No, I can't do that. I'm going to have to hold on to it. So that also plays in our minds, holding on to a story that no longer serves us because it's become such an integral part of the journey that you refuse to let go. So,
How? Yes, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no problem.
But see, you have let go and you have walked off, okay? But the thing is that when the same situation comes around, you know, the first thing reaction is fear. Oh God, I'm seeing the same thing coming up again. I've let go. I've let go. Okay, it's not coming to my hand. But when the situation comes and then the fear comes, and then you go through a phase of fear, and then you set your boundaries. Now oh God, I've got to set my boundary. You just put your foot down and set your boundary, please, dear. You girl, go ahead and do it. And then I try to bring in Swami's you know, kind words, and I'll just put it, okay, with love in my heart, I'm saying this, I'm trying to set a boundary. But even then, you know, even when you set a boundary, they try to, that's when I go into a defensive mode, you know.
Well,
So what is
you
this?
say you're let. Sorry, go on.
What are these stages? What's going on?
Well, I have to come back and say that it's all in you. It's nothing with the other people because you say you've let go, but you're not. Because if you have, we won't be having this discussion right now.
I think
The
so.
very reason why we are having this discussion is you're unhealed fully. So, to get this, what I could suggest to you from the best that I know in deep trauma like this and things that are so hard to understand for the rational mind is to view the whole situation. And if you were to see what you were to these people that you're meeting right now in a past life, you say, wow, now I know what's happening. So you're only saying this because you cannot remember it. And if you were healed, and as this is another thing, we all, oh, I'm done with it. This doesn't bother me. I walked away 5 years ago. The more we say that, it's a clue for me as a practitioner of QHHT, is that there is an unhealed wound. We won't be having this conversation today, and Swami is bringing this up to you to face that you're not healed at a cellular level. The emotion that you experienced during that time is still there at a cellular level. And that's what's causing you to be defensive and to repeat the same cycles because you resonate and you keep on attracting individuals with the same vibrational frequency that's matching yours at a subconscious level. This is how we co-create. This is how we experience our reality. We create that with our vibrational frequency. So why you experience the same thing again is because it's within you. It's not because somebody has come in to destroy your life. You're simply attracting them, your soul, to show you that you need to heal this. Once you do that, it will no longer exist.
What are the steps to heal? I'm sorry, you might have mentioned it again. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself again and again.
Well, we can solve it here. I mean, this is all I can say is acceptance is the first step. You have to accept it fully. As long as there is some element of blame going on, somebody did this, therefore I am this, we will continue to have this dialogue even in future sessions, even years after. The first thing is the acceptance. The acceptance. And from there, you have a point of neutrality, you could start healing. You got to accept it. Because right now, part of your mind is saying, I don't deserve, Baba bless me, why did this happen to me, and why for so long? This is all part of the blame game that's done by the mind. So once you accept it, hey, I'm responsible for this, I may not remember, but I am, then you're in a different state to start healing yourself, because now you're taking responsibility.
So even if when you pray for the souls that who gave you that experience, you're saying that I'm still not healed, like even though I've gone to the stage of praying for the, thank you for coming into my life, you were blessing in my life too, for me to learn this lesson in my life. But you're saying even if I say this, I've started saying this recently, like for about maybe a year or so, but still I'm not healed, you're saying. That's what you're
Yes, you're
saying.
not. You're not, because I could see
sorry.
from.
So sorry to cut you guys. There's a class going to happen right now. Is it possible for us to end this session?
Yes, we can. We were just having a conversation to give her more light. We could certainly finish this for today.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Can you send me a text message, sir?
Thank you. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything. It was nice.
Kupusami sir, so sorry.
No problem. No
I'll
problem.
pass it to you now.